Go. Okay, so solving. The big key to solving is getting x by itself. All you want to do is get your variable by itself. Okay? And that means getting everything around it away from it. Okay? It sounds simple, right? Well, it is. Okay, you got 3 plus 4x minus x equals 12. Okay? So, alright, my first step is always PEMDAS. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, from left to right, doesn't matter which comes first. Addition, subtraction, from left to right, doesn't matter which comes first. You always collect like terms. Okay? So you start that off, and you go, okay, this, and that's on one side, and then you worry about the other side. Alright, just this. Okay? You can't add the two sides, okay? So you always kind of just draw your line there. Let yourself know those are two separate sides. They have nothing to do with each other right now. Okay? And then do the math. X is first. X minus x, or 4x minus x, 3x. And then bring this down. Plus 3. Because there's a hidden plus out there, right? There's a hidden plus out there. So you got to bring that down. Okay. Equals 12. So now I've got x, no x. No x. So I'm good. It's all combined. So, what we do to solve, sad math. Okay? It's just PEMDAS in reverse. Okay? From left to right, from left to right. So it's just subtraction, addition, from left to right. Division, multiplication, from left to right. Whichever comes first. And exponents, and then parentheses. You'll never get to parentheses once you're done with the exponents, okay? Now the key here is always do the opposite. Do the opposite of what is going on. Okay? So whatever's happening to the x, I'm going to, whatever is subtracting or adding to the x, I'm going to add or subtract the opposite. That's all. I just look at it as add the opposite. Okay? So, I'm adding 3. I'm going to add negative 3. But what I do to one side, I have to do to the other. What you do to one side, you do to the other. Okay? You got to write this stuff down. You got to remind yourself your steps here. Okay?
You have to write it down as rule number 2. Rule number 1 was get the variable by itself. Rule number 2, what you do to the other side, you do to the other. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Those sound like good rules. Alright, so, okay, boom, 3x equals 8, no, 9. Okay, 3x equals 9. So now I've got to do the next stage. Okay, the next stage is divide or multiply whatever is being divided or multiplied into the x. Okay? They might be doing it at the same time, like a fraction. Dividing and multiplying at the same time. You just do the opposite. Remember, this is really 3 over 1. Now I can divide by 3 or I can multiply by 1/3. It's just Depends on how you want to look at it. Okay? You're doing the opposite. The key here, and the reason why I say this, is so when you got a fraction there, it's just bam, you just flip it, multiply. Okay? This cancels this, boom, but what you do to one side. Okay? I did the same thing there, right? That's why I'm purposely doing these differently, so that you can see both ways. Yeah, it's being multiplied, so I'm dividing. So I divide on this side. Or I'm multiplying by the reciprocal. Either way, whatever way fits for you, do it. X equals 3. Done. Okay? Alright.
So on that part right there, we use the reciprocal, right?
Yep. Perfect. So, then you have 2x minus 3 plus, did I do that one? No. Plus x equals minus 9. Again, collect your like terms. This is like with this isn't like. That isn't like, so we collect our like terms. I got 3x minus 3 equals negative 9. I'm going to add whatever's adding to the variable. Do the opposite. I'm adding a negative 3. So I'm going to add a positive 3 to both sides. Cancels. 3x equals negative 6. Okay? So, I'm going to divide by 3, bam, x equals negative 2. Done. Just opposite. Add the opposite, multiply by the opposite. Or if it's multiplying, divide. Okay? Perfect. Next. Negative 7 times the quantity of negative x plus 3 times minus 2x equals 5 times x minus 4 minus 1. Okay? Same thing. Okay? You always got to start with PEMDAS. Okay? Parentheses. Done. Exponents. There are none. Multiplication division from left to right. That means everything. Everybody on the block gets the paper. The whole paper. Negative times a negative is a positive. Positive 7x. Minus 21. Okay, and bring it down. Minus 2x equals 5x minus 20 minus 1.
Harmony, could you please call the front desk? Harmony?
Okay, so now I got my like terms. Okay, put them together. X's go first. So plus 5x. And then bring this down. Minus 21 equals 5x minus 21. Okay?
Did you put one line under them ones too? Because them ones are x, are they? 20 and minus 1?
Ah, see what I did? What I was doing was I just looked at this side and said, oh, this is common with this. And then I looked at this side, totally separate from this side, and said, oh, this is common with this. So, yeah, I used the same single line on both of them. Now, could you have done this? So that you knew that this was separate from this? Sure. Totally.
Kind of confused you there.
Sorry about that. Okay, so I just want to worry about collecting like terms on this side. Boop. Like terms on this side. Boop. Now, I know they look the same, right? 5x minus 21 is 5x minus 21. Are they the same? They're exactly the same. So, here's the thing. What if I didn't notice that they were the same? It's possible, right? So you go to the next step. Minus 5x. No, that's probably not your next step. Your next step would be, oh yeah, you got to move the x. Okay, which x is lower, 5 or 5x?
5x.
Yeah. So, you go to move your 5x, and all of a sudden you realize, holy smokes, I canceled them. Now, this is where people go wrong. People don't add the 5x, they divide by 5 for some reason. Do not do that. Because you'll leave an x there, right?
Yes.
Gene?
Yes.
Okay? That is a very, very common problem. Very common mistake. Okay? So, just watch out. Alright? Make sure it's always add the opposite first. Moving your variable over. Always your lowest variable. Always the lowest variable. When you come to having a variable on both sides, move your lowest variable first. Okay? You gotta move the lowest variable first. When you ask yourself, okay, which one's lower, 5 or 5? It should click. They're the same. But maybe it doesn't. So you subtract or you add a negative 5x, negative 5x, and it cancels them. Now you get negative 21 equals negative 21. Does negative 21 equal negative 21?
Yes.
It's the same question as before. Does 5x minus 21 equal 5x minus 21?
Yes.
If the answer is yes, then that means you have all real numbers. Or what I like to say is, your answer is infinite. All numbers are possible. What we're saying there is no matter what number you plug in for x, this side and this side will be equal. No matter what number. Okay? That's the key crucial thing that you're learning right there. Alright. So, 2 minutes. Think I could do this in 2 minutes? Yeah, I can. Okay. So, 1 over x equals 5 over 45. Okay, 2 ways to do this. How many times does 5 or 1 go into 5? 5 times,
5
right?
times, yes.
So 5 times something is going to be 45.
Yes.
5 times what is 45?
9.
9. X is 9. Now that's one way of doing it. Okay? One way of doing it. Right? What times 1 is 5? I mean, like 5 times 1 is 5. That means 5 times this is this. So then I know that x is 9. Another way of doing it though
You flip it.
is to just go here and here. So I have 45 times 1 equals 5 times x. So then I divide by 5 and I get 9 equals x. Either way, did I do it? Woohoo! With a minute to spare. That's what I'm talking about.